Good afternoon, my dear students. Yesterday, we have discussed about departmental undertaking as well as its suitability and features. Today, I will discuss with you all merits and limitations of departmental undertaking. But before starting the topic, I will discuss once again meaning of departmental undertaking. Students, this is the most traditional and oldest form of public sector enterprises, and this is the undertaking through which our government works. Now, I will discuss with you all what are the merits of departmental undertaking. So students, see the first merit. Departmental undertakings are under direct and effective control of Parliament. Yes student, departmental undertakings are under the direct control of Parliament. In this way, they are under direct control and supervision of the government. Second is, these ensure a high degree of public accountability. Accountability means answerability. Departmental undertakings are having high degree of public accountability. They have to give answer to the public through Parliament. Next is source of income for government. Whatever revenues are earned by departmental undertaking are directly deposited in the government treasury. In this way, departmental undertaking is a source of income for the government. Next is, when national security is concerned, then their departmental undertaking is very much suitable. When any of the area where national security is required, in such areas, opening departmental undertaking is suitable, like atomic energy project or defense activities. So there, departmental undertaking is suitable because they are managed by concerned ministry. So students, these are the merits of departmental undertaking, that these are under the direct control of Parliament. Next, they are answerable to the public through Parliament. It is the biggest source of income for the government, and when area is related to national security, then departmental undertaking is the best option. So now I will discuss with you all demerits or limitations of departmental undertaking. First is fail to take prompt decision. Yes, in case of departmental undertaking, all the decisions are taken when they are approved by the concerned ministry. After getting approval from concerned ministry, decisions are taken. It results in delay in decision making. Next is, departmental undertaking functions under strict Parliament control. Departmental undertaking works under strict Parliament control. In this way, ministers and top officials interfere in the activity of departmental undertaking. This affects the flexibility and efficiency of departmental undertakings. Next is, departmental undertakings are not able to take full advantage of business opportunities. Yes, because these are managed by bureaucrats, government officials, and these government officials are conservative in nature and they don't want to take any type of risk, because if there will be losses, then they have to give answer in the Parliament. Next is, there is red tapeism in day-to-day working. Red tapeism means a number of pending files. In departmental undertaking, there is a heap of pending files because activities are taken only after following proper channel of authority. It results in passing of files from one table to another and results in pending file, and there is red tapeism in the organization. So students, these are the demerits of departmental undertaking. First we have discussed, that is fail to take prompt decision. There is strict Parliament control and a lot interference of ministers and government officials. They are not able to take advantage from business opportunities, and there is a lot of red tapeism in the departmental undertaking. So students, here the topic of departmental undertaking is over, and I hope this is clear to all. Even then, if you have any doubt, you can discuss with me right now. Okay class, thank you.